who
fan.
we were. She won a meet and greet on the radio. I remember doing the meet and greet with her, and she was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "What are you doing at this meet and greet? Like, why the fuck did you want to meet me if you don't even know who I am?" So she was the one. She was front row. I remember like it was a small club. She was getting there was like a mosh pit happening right behind her, and she was really unhappy about it. But she still didn't move. She didn't get out of the way for anybody. And the cake had this like um, thin metal tray under it. You know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? And so that's what hit her in the eye. And it just hit her at the right angle, and she got a black eye, and she fucking sued us for 10
She
grand.
had to think that you did it on purpose because you were pissed that she didn't know who you were.
I don't know what that lady was thinking, to be honest. I don't know why the fuck she was even there. It's like she was just like such an oddball fit. You know what I mean? There's all these kids like going nuts. They're absolutely stoked to be there. They're in front row. They're trying to jostle their position into the front row. And there's this like she's like front and center. You know what I mean? Doesn't even know the music, doesn't even like it, doesn't like the fact there's a mosh pit happening, and she got caked in the face. Honestly, worth the 10 grand. Totally worth it.
I like that.
All right, so then, by the way, as we said, Lydia gets nominated. Then there starts to be some buzz. You guys start recording the album that technically broke you guys, The Boy Who Died, Wolf. And that album, which has been chronologically said ad nauseum, was recorded in Bogota, which is wild. And I'm guessing the label flipped the bill at that point because you already got the Grammy nod, or there was a way that, is that what happened?
Yeah, oh yeah, the label owns all of it, so they pay for all of it too, you know.
Right. And whose idea was it? Let's go to Bogota.
Joel Hamilton was the producer on the first three records, Mr. Silent Boy Who Died Wolf or Cried Wolf,
Right.
and MCID. He did all those, and he had a bunch of in connections down in Bogota. He had done like a Pretty Lights record down there or something like that, and so it was cool though. I mean, it was just like we recorded in this like fortress that had like 12-foot walls with razor wire around it, and right across the street was this like huge hill that was like a shanty town, and it was you couldn't get to it except for this like bridge, and the police wouldn't allow us to go in there.
Jesus. You had like armed guards with you the whole time as well, right?
The whole time. Yeah. At the very end of that recording, John was doing something in the studio. Rich and I didn't need to be there, and we had a couple of days. So we convinced the security guard to take us into like deep Bogota and actually show us, what it was really like. And
Jesus.
he was like, yeah, sure. So he like made us stop, I don't know, at his house or something. He came out and put a very long bag in the back of the car, and just told us to do exactly what he said. And he drove us around. We got to see how people were living out there.
James?
That's insane. Did you see, and it's going to sound crazy, Ralph, but there's a method to the madness. Did you see hippos? Because supposedly, no, because of fucking, what's his name? Medellin, that son of a bitch, Pablo Escobar.
Oh, yeah.
He had pet hippos. He gets whacked out, dies, whatever. They start banging each other. There's these incestual hippos that are just running around Colombia now. They're not from there. And now there's a shit of them just running around, and they're nasty sons of bitches. I don't want to sound like a politician, but they're fucking unbelievably the most vicious animals. Don't let
They think they kill more people than any other animal.
If you want to stay up at night, watch before you go to bed, which I've made this mistake a couple times. Sorry to brag, of hippos chasing tour boats, and they're just angry. They're not going after marbles like it's 1984. Parker Brothers or whoever made the board game. They are stone cold killers and just running about Colombia because of
Let me just say something. First of all, I think Medellin's pretty far away from Bogota, so I don't know if that's going to happen, right?
But
number one.
I think they're in cahoots, but I don't know.
I was in Medellin once, by the way. It was pretty crazy over there. I scared people because they weren't used to seeing a 2-meter tall monster. Like, they didn't know what the fuck. Little kids didn't know what I was. It was pretty wild. But
I like the conversion. 2 meters.
Yeah.
You don't do this.
Well, I'm in Bogota. I got to go in Colombia. The crazy side story, I don't know if I ever told this on the show, but I was supposed to film. I have a cooking background, as you know, and I ran restaurants. And somehow I was asked to host a show where I flew to cities that had invasive species, and we would learn how to cook it and try and talk the local restaurants into putting that weird invasive species on the menu. So if it had gotten greenlit, maybe I'd be cooking hippo right now and trying to talk them into it. That would have been cool.
How do you eat hippo? Medium rare?
I don't know.
You char
Probably. So this album comes out, The Boy Died Wolf, another Grammy nod for you guys, right? For that record with for My Name Is Human. Video is wild. I know I'm sorry because it's I don't know how many years ago now. It's probably almost 10 years ago, but it is interesting because no one else in the band but him. So I always wondered if he says, all right, guys, here's the idea. It's going to be a gorgeous girl and me, and you guys are going to be nowhere to be found. How do you feel about that video? Or is that not how it went down?
It was you guys heard of Leo Cohen, Kevin Lyles, all those kind of guys? They ran like Def Jam.
Oh
to
yeah.
put like Jay-Z, Eminem on the map. That's who we were working with. And Leo Cohen's the kind of guy you just don't say no to. He's like a 7-foot gangster.
Tough dude.
He's a tough dude. Funny story. He almost killed someone at one of our shows. We can get back to that.
It sounds hilarious, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Luckily, no one did get hurt, but he definitely got his point across. So he was like, Johnny, I would like to do this video my way with this producer. And we were kind of just like, yes, sir. And that's how that happened.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. She was a famous model, right? I think she was a famous model, right?
She's an actress. She's actually married to the fucking
Maroon 5 guy, wasn't she? Or am I wrong?
I know she's married to one of the guys from Workaholics.
Okay.
The guy was also in he's a fucking comedian. What's his name? Now I fucked it. But anyways, totally. She was like an up and coming actress. She's pretty famous now. So that was the whole pairing that they wanted.
It's great. I mean, by the way, it's wild because it's it couldn't have cost that much to make. I could be wrong, but it's not a lot going on, but it's a fucking hypnotic video. That's how I discovered you guys, was from that video, and just then did a deep dive into you guys. A story that I love, and I want you to elaborate on it a little bit, please, is your tattoos that say "Good Life." Where you were when you got that and why? Because it's a good story for people to hear, because they may not know it.
Sure, yeah. We were in Brooklyn. We were 6 months behind on rent. I was working doubles at a restaurant, bussing tables and bartending, and just basically, killing myself. I was like 160 pounds. I was just a skeleton of a frame, and had bags in my eyes. And we finally got, we finally landed a deal. And we played at this, I don't know if you remember this place called the Trash Bar.
Trash Bar, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace. But that was our spot. And so we played at the Trash Bar, and then we signed the record deal on the pool table in the front of the bar. And then we went out and got fucked up and didn't go to sleep. And the next morning we went out, we just continued, we went and got brunch. And I was like, man, we finally fucking struck gold. We got the good, we finally living the good life. And I told the restaurant to go fuck themselves. And just kind of, that's where it came from. And
you got the tattoos, right? It says "Good Life" on your hand. It's good because it shows you sometimes when everything looks like shit, one little thing could change your life right then and there. So it's just when I heard that story, I was like, that's a fucking good story. I think that needs to be said more. But then,
man.
MCID comes out. I love 16, great song. But now, did you guys feel weird that that's the first album you didn't get a Grammy nomination?